Right, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is well. Right, let's just have a little quick scan of obviously everything that is happening here and why. So today we've obviously got some PMI data for obviously euro and pound, and then obviously PMI data later on. So a little bit of a bit busy day in regards to euro, pound, and US dollar. Now, what I've done, I have allowed for this data in respects to obviously how we are trading here, So if we're looking at this on this time frame, I've allowed, nice bit of space here, nice bit of room here, for obviously, our intraday trades to trigger, and I've done the same on Euro here too. So that's obviously why I've placed everything slightly higher because I'm allowing for a little bit of a breakup before a continuation. Right, looking at the dollar here, and obviously overall outlooks here, so we're obviously still very, very, very strong on, in regards to, yeah, the dollar, strength had a wild day yesterday. It was very, very tricky to trade, very, very, very up and down here. It's hard when markets are obviously, that they were consolidating yesterday, but obviously it was quite a big consolidation zone. Normally we'd be kind of ranging a bit smaller. If we look at consolidation here, it's quite small. Even here, it's quite small, yeah. But obviously yesterday was quite a big consolidation, and how I'm going to describe this if we go on a daily time frame. And obviously this is where we have pound trigger in the morning, we took a loss, and then obviously we had pound trigger in the afternoon, and we obviously took some profit off the table, and then obviously I placed a gold position as well, which is what got me out about break even. So the dollar yesterday, very, very good day. Nice pump up. All right. And if we look at GBP USD as well, yeah, yesterday, pump up. Now, I don't particularly think the pound is stronger than the dollar. It was just how it worked out. It was a very, very up and down day yesterday. If we look at euro obviously tailed off to the downside. Aussie, not really much movement here at all. Even USD had, not really much movement at all, even though the dollar, we would say, had a pretty strong day. So we've come back up here and we've breached this 100 level here. All right. I'm expecting something very, very similar that happened yesterday, where we're going to pop down into this area potentially and then obviously continue. I don't know if there's enough at the moment, until probably PMI data comes out for us to break through this high here. It seems to be struggling to break through this high. Obviously, a little bit more of a tailwind, good news, and we could see this, start to continue and challenge this 100, 500. We've got obviously lots of aspects, in regards to the dollar here, in regards to, I wouldn't say there's escalation. I think this is where you can really utilize, markets to find out what news is true and what's not true. So obviously, if you look at the, news, Iran, US kicking off massively. But then if you look at, markets, they're not quite acting like we're doing, the same thing here. So it's that's obviously how you can utilize, trading to find out obviously what's true and what's not true. And obviously, sometimes news aren't even documenting things, but charts are obviously doing something different here. So, in regards to, stock market taking quite a heavy hit, we are, we would anticipate a bit of escalation here. All right. Yields here pumping up pretty high, back up into that danger, zone. So, these are obviously all things we've got to be aware of. If yields were obviously trading back down here, or even in this area here, then we would be, thinking that things are calming. So what all this data tells me is there's a bit of confusion in the markets right now. One of the things which are interesting, if we look at a few stocks, look at SpaceX. Look at SpaceX. There was all this hype. Everyone was trying to get on this IPO here. But obviously, look where it is now. And this is what I was explaining to everyone. Don't obviously get on the hype on opening day because you then get a realistic, kind of market open. I would say, if you wanted to buy SpaceX, stock, now is probably the time to buy it. They've only got to do and publicize their first mission, and we're going to be looking at price booming up to this area here. So I do like obviously where where SpaceX is. So that might be one thing that I even look to put some money into long term, because I do like we're back at pretty much my market open here. So quite interesting. But right, let's go through some of the charts. Aussie, I did have a trade set up on Aussie, but yeah, I'm staying clear of it. I don't know why. Call it like a weird intuition, but I just staying away from it. Pound, I like this trade. Looking like we've just triggered. So I like the idea of this popping up and then continuing, probably targeting these kind of lows here. I do think there's more strength in the dollar. Euro 2 triggered our bottom entry just now. So, expecting this again to continue to the downside. Gold, we've spiked up here, hit obviously our TP11 on the scalping strategy that I'm trialing out this week. So pretty happy with that. But yeah, let's wait and see. Dollar obviously looking like it's could potentially be holding, but I do see gold potentially just creeping up into our zonal area here. So I'm pretty happy in that respect here. USDJPY, yen's gone on a mad one. We obviously know these happen. So obviously that's why I've stayed away from it on the intraday kind of time frame. I did put a scalp out, which obviously has taken us out. I didn't actually take this entry, but yeah, you'll watch this now absolutely fly. So yeah, but this is obviously where we've got to be careful in regards to yen. You don't want your stops too big. But obviously, it's because yeah, you could have had stops here, still been stopped out, but obviously been stopped out pretty hefty. But I can see this continuing to the upside here. So that is obviously one to be aware of. But obviously, yen is that kind of pair at the moment. You just need to be very, very, very careful of it. So gold, like I said, happy. Obviously, we've tapped into this TP1 area. I was hoping to continue up and obviously tap our overall daily position here, which was this one here. Zonal entry. But that's markets this week are looking like it's going to be a bit tricky, and obviously we did really, really well last week overall because, the overall direction was relatively easy. This week, obviously, it's a bit trickier, so that's why, market's not kind of quite made its mind up about, which way it wants to go. Yeah, yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all? We got obviously pound and I'd class that about break even, and obviously euro about break even too. Let me just check this. So it should have triggered. There we go. So yeah, let's wait and see. Obviously, what what happens here. Um, but yeah, yeah, if there's no questions, I will end it here. Be aware I'm going to be very, very active today. So, and obviously I'll keep you guys updated. Um, oh, one question. Ikins Jade, Dan, please can you show me how you make your point of interest? Yeah, sure. So if we go on a blank one here, right? Let's go for USD CAD. Let's not do USD CAD actually, because that's not the best one. So USD, sorry, NZD USD here. So if you think about it, we're obviously making up our mind before we hop on any chart. All right. So dollar trending to the upside. We always want to go with the overall trend, not what it's telling us right now. Yields obviously overall trend too, creeping to the upside. Stocks down, oil, pretty much down too. It's approaching that 70, which is quite interesting. We've also got gold down as well. So what we're kind of looking at here is on NZD, all right? So we know the direction that we wanted to take this trade. It's a clear downtrend here. All we're identifying is where we're gonna take this trade. All right, so where are we going to, be where are we going to be selling from and how aggressive do we want to be? So me here, I'd probably be looking at this area. You can see how cleanly, all right, if we go from the top here, price started trending, struggled here. So that will be one, zone here. This is a very, very simple way of looking at it. All right, price then comes down, struggles here, starts to pop up. So obviously, we've got entries zone potentially number two here. All right. Interestingly enough, it breaks through. Where does it struggle to break back above and continue? The previous area that we've marked out here. All right. Then you can see here price struggles to cleanly break through this quickly. All right. So then it breaks through here and we get a push up. So you would obviously then mark up your next kind of area of interest here. All right. You know, Strangely enough, price obviously can't break back above this area here. So it tries to break down. It's struggling. It's, slow. When it breaks through, where does it come up and retest this area here? All right. So I will probably add one more area, small area, potentially about here. Sorry, I'm just letting two more people in, some late comers to the party here. So I'd be looking at a smaller one here. All right. Because you can see here once price breaks through, it comes back up, retests into this area, and then continues. So where would I be looking here? Probably, NZD USD would be here, but this would actually write this trade off for me this morning. It wouldn't be something that I'd be interested in. And then I'd be looking on kind of higher time frames here. Where could I take this into? Um, Potentially you'd want to take it into potentially this area here. These kind of where it's struggled to break through here. All right. So that is the kind of trade that I'd be looking at here, potentially taking this a little bit higher. So it's a 1 to 2, and that would be what I'd be looking at here. So something like this. But obviously, the chances of price coming all the way up here. Remember, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. It's got to engulf 6 hours worth of price action. I wouldn't personally be entering this trade because I'd be wanting I wouldn't expect price to obviously come up to this area in this time frame. So this might be a trade that we'd be looking for in the US trading, session. So yeah, that's obviously how I would be looking at it, and obviously how I mark things up. Um, um, iPhone 4, some connections problem. Thought it was your side. Okay, yeah, no problem at all. My Wi-Fi here is either really good or not too great. So yeah, but no, hopefully you guys have obviously hopped on and got TP1 here. Pretty happy. So I'm expecting this to probably tail off a bit higher. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a few of these throughout today because I've got a bit more time here. So stay aware. So yeah, right. Have a great Tuesday. And yeah, let's smash it. Let's smash it. Have a good one, team. Have a good one.